Listen carefully, because this message may explain why your mind feels exhausted all the time. You wake up tired. You scroll endlessly. You procrastinate even on important things. You struggle to focus. You start tasks and instantly lose energy. And no matter how badly you want to change your life, your brain feels stuck. Then the guilt begins. Why can't I focus anymore? Why do simple things feel impossible? Why am I wasting my life? Why am I so lazy? But listen carefully, you are not lazy. Your dopamine system is burned out. Your brain is overloaded from years of stress, overstimulation, pressure, emotional exhaustion, scrolling, comparison, anxiety, and survival mode. And eventually, your nervous system stopped responding the way it used to. Take a slow deep breath in, and slowly out. Right now. Stop attacking yourself for being mentally exhausted. Because exhausted minds cannot function clearly. Everything is in God's hands. Even the season where your mind feels disconnected from motivation. Even the confusion. Even the burnout. God sees the invisible battles nobody else notices. And you are not weak because your brain feels tired. You are overwhelmed. That is different. Now think about how your life feels lately. You want to focus, but distractions feel stronger than discipline. You want to improve, but your energy disappears before you begin. You want to rest, but your mind never truly relaxes. That is dopamine burnout. Your brain has been overloaded for too long. Constant stimulation, constant scrolling, constant pressure, constant emotional survival. And eventually, the brain struggles to feel motivated by normal life anymore. Simple tasks no longer create enough stimulation. So everything feels harder. Cleaning, working, studying, responding to messages. Even basic routines can feel exhausting. Not because you are lazy, because your nervous system is overstimulated and emotionally drained. Say this slowly: I am not lazy. My mind is exhausted. Again, I do not hate myself for struggling. I understand myself now. Breathe slowly, because understanding creates healing. Most people try to fix dopamine burnout through shame. They scream at themselves internally. You're wasting time. Get your life together. Be more disciplined. But pressure without healing creates more exhaustion. And exhausted people cannot perform at their best. Your ADHD brain, or burned out nervous system, needs recovery, peace, stillness, balance, not constant panic. Everything is in God's hands. That means your life is not ruined because you lost focus for a season. You are still capable of rebuilding, still capable of discipline, still capable of joy, still capable of peace. But healing requires slowing down long enough to listen to what your mind actually needs. Take another deep breath. Now imagine what your nervous system has experienced over the years. Notifications, social media, comparison, stress, pressure, trauma, fear, financial anxiety, emotional overload, lack of rest, constant stimulation. Your brain never truly had time to recover. And eventually, your dopamine system became exhausted. That is why motivation feels distant. That is why nothing feels exciting anymore. That is why your attention feels scattered. That is why you feel emotionally numb sometimes. Your brain is protecting itself from overload. And healing begins the moment you stop seeing yourself as broken. Now say, I release shame. I release self-hatred. I stop calling myself lazy. I choose healing over pressure. I choose peace over overstimulation. I deserve rest while rebuilding my life. Take another breath. Your brain was never designed to consume endless stimulation all day. But modern life constantly attacks your attention. Scrolling, videos, notifications, comparison, instant dopamine everywhere. And over time, your mind loses its ability to enjoy slow, meaningful things. That is why silence feels uncomfortable now. That is why focus feels difficult. That is why your brain constantly searches for stimulation. But healing is possible. Slowly, patiently, one healthier habit at a time, one calmer morning at a time, one less distraction at a time. You do not need to transform overnight. You need nervous system recovery. And recovery takes compassion, not punishment. Everything is in God's hands. So stop believing you are permanently damaged. You are tired, deeply tired, mentally tired, emotionally tired, spiritually tired. But tired people can heal. Now imagine yourself 6 months from now. Sleeping better, scrolling less, feeling calmer, thinking more clearly, focusing longer, feeling emotionally lighter. That future is possible. But it begins with protecting your dopamine system, protecting your peace, protecting your energy. Now say, I protect my mind. I protect my attention. I protect my peace. I stop escaping through endless stimulation. I create space for healing. I trust myself to rebuild slowly. I trust God to guide me. Breathe slowly. One of the biggest lies people believe is this: if I was stronger, I'd be more productive. No. If your nervous system felt safer, you would function better naturally. Safety changes focus. Peace changes clarity. Rest changes discipline. And many people are trying to build discipline while emotionally burned out. That never lasts. Real growth becomes sustainable only when healing is included. That means sleep matters. Stillness matters. Nature matters. Silence matters. Prayer matters. Rest matters. Because your nervous system needs moments where it no longer feels under attack. Everything is in God's hands. And that means you do not need to carry the pressure of becoming perfect overnight. You only need today's next step. That is enough. Maybe today your next step is simply resting without guilt. Maybe today your next step is deleting one distraction. Maybe today your next step is sitting quietly for 10 minutes. Maybe today your next step is forgiving yourself for being exhausted. That matters too. Healing is productive. Never forget that. Now think about how long you've been fighting yourself mentally, criticizing yourself, forcing yourself, pressuring yourself, comparing yourself. And maybe your mind is simply begging for peace, not laziness. Peace. There is a difference. Now say, I stop fighting my exhausted mind. I choose recovery. I choose calm. I choose balance. I release the pressure to constantly perform. I allow myself to heal fully. Take another deep breath. You are not behind in life because you needed recovery. You are human. And humans break under constant pressure eventually. But broken seasons do not mean broken futures. You can rebuild your attention, rebuild your focus, rebuild your energy, rebuild your confidence. One peaceful habit at a time. And yes, discipline still matters. But real discipline is not punishment. Real discipline protects your future. It protects your mind, your energy, your peace, your nervous system. That is wisdom. And the more peaceful your nervous system becomes, the easier focus begins to feel again. Slowly, naturally, without constant force. Everything is in God's hands. And your story is not ending in burnout. There is still peace ahead of you. Still healing ahead of you. Still purpose ahead of you. Still clarity ahead of you. But healing begins when you stop calling yourself lazy, and finally understand what your brain has been trying to survive. Take one final deep breath in, and slowly out. You are not lazy. Your dopamine system is exhausted. And healing starts now. Subscribe for more.